Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 65 of Direwolf20's Let's Play of ATM10. Today's plan will be to automate some more stuff from modern industrialization. What I need to automate right now is rubber because we're out of rubber. So I set up all the patterns I need and now I'm working on the machines. So let's get that cooking. So real quick primer, as in case you forget, rubber needs paper and synthetic rubber. Synthetic rubber comes from synthetic oil and sulfur. Synthetic oil comes from the steam blast furnace with raw synthetic oil, and that's what we're currently working on. So raw synthetic oil turning into synthetic oil is what goes in here. Raw synthetic oil turning into synthetic oil is what goes in here. I just need to make sure that we can bronze fluid output hatch. I should be able to take you guys and connect you. And you, right? And then we've got the mixer recipe. That's where synthetic oil is made with coke dust and water. And that's also where synthetic rubber is made, right? Synthetic rubber is made in the mixer, right? And raw synthetic oil is made in the mixer. Cool. And then the rubber itself is also made in the mixer, so this is just mixer-centric. All right, so now if I ask for rubber times 10, it's probably going to make 120 at a time, because the way I set this up, hopefully I mathed it all correctly, it should make and not leave behind any excess liquid. Because the way this works is we only need 100 millibuckets of synthetic rubber to make 12 sheets, but I wanted to use the full bucket that is produced from this process. So I 10x'd that recipe. So I told it, use a whole bucket and 10 pieces of paper to make 120 rubber whenever you're crafting this, so that we don't leave any rubber behind in the AE system. I also threw a quick fluid cell into my disk drive, but I want to make sure we don't leave behind any rubber, right? Like I want to use it all, right? So that's going to be 1-to-1. So we're going to like need a bucket. So we're going to make 10x of this, and you are a mixer. You make 200 millibucks at a time. So you're going to do 5. And yeah, that should all work out. Cool. So if I tell you to run and hit next, everybody's cooking. Nice. Cool. And as you can see, we're running a bunch of copper and stuff through this thing because I'm working on our electric quarry. Cool. So like these components are being made. Sweet. So then once you get that, auto eject fluids as well, you're running now. You've got a bucket's worth in there that you're processing. And that's cool. And then presumably you're extracting and going right into here, right? Return inventorying, so that you can then combine that to synthetic rubber and then take that synthetic rubber and make all our rubber sheets. How cool is that? I like it. And it didn't leave behind any rubber. Cool. So if we check over here, we should see this cell is empty, and that's what I would want to see. I don't want it, you know, wasting stuff, right? Cool. Okay. So let's let all this craft, and we'll be back in a minute. All right, let's see where we're at. So electric quarry. Oh, also needs advanced hulls, which need silicon batteries, and advanced machine casings, which need aluminum plates. So that's a different hull than I previously had. I taught that between episodes. I like that it's easy to see at a glance which machines are running. I look forward to upgrading these machines to like electric powered ones, and then we don't have to worry about this so much. Because we'll just use forge energy and our nuclear reactor and all that. But like I said, I wanted to like go through the mod for the first time, right? Like really get a feel for like how it starts. I will say there's a lot of crafting tedium to it, like a lot of crafting tedium, and I think like the mod's goal is to be Factorio esque, a lighter version of Greg Tech, if you will. And I think that's cool. I think this mod needs the right pack to like make it so that you need like hundreds of these items and you're really encouraged to set up these production lines, right? I think a pack designed around this mod would probably be fun for those folks who like a Greg textile pack. And what it would need would be like early simple access to applied energistics. Um you know, like really cheap applied energistics recipes to let you automate everything. And then, or even if it wasn't applied energistics, it could be like just a piping thing. Because like it's really designed to be Factorio-esque, right? Where you're like building hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things. Like that would be kind of cool. Like building a Factorio like mod pack out of this mod would be definitely neat. Maybe. Electric quarry time! Hooray! We done did it! Resource goes brrr. So not too sure how this is going to work, but we'll find out. But if we wanted to make titanium ingots now, which, you know, actually processing the titanium apparently is going to need like a whole thing. But we'll figure that out, right? So titanium ingots need the stainless steel drill bit. So, wow, that's a lot of things. Off to our auto crafting programmer that we go. Okay. So if I want to make you, right? You make 4 of these stainless steel drills. Why do I feel like that having the number 4 there means these are going to be consumed by the quarry and we're going to need to auto craft them on the regular? Why do I feel that way about this? It's a sense that I have. It's a sense that I have. All right, so we need you, right? Everything else is already auto-crafting, but those few we definitely need to auto-craft. So let's start with the advanced pump. Oh my goodness. Stainless steel is going to play a big role here, isn't it? Aluminum cables. Aluminum's going to play a big role here. But I think stainless steel is going to be like the big deal. And I suspect, oh my goodness, what is all going on here? A digital circuit. A new form of circuit. That's all we needed. And a stainless steel drill head. So I suspect something tells me stainless steel is going to need some significant effort. Yep. Vacuum freezer. I knew it. 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 I had a feeling that it was going to happen. Now, I'm assuming that vacuum freezer comes before heat exchanger. Right. Yes. So let's get ready to make the vacuum freezer, which is going to need some frost-proof machine casings. Doesn't look terrible. And some aluminum large plates. But everything else in here looks pretty doable. Do we already have large pumps? I don't know. All right, so vacuum freezer. We'll start the process of getting the things, but we definitely need large pumps, which is going to need pumps, which I can make most of the things for. Nice. I forgot to request more patterns last time I made some, didn't I? Okay. And then we needed aluminum rotors, which is going to be the whole aluminum thing. So aluminum rods we know how to make, so that's cool. And then aluminum blades. And then aluminum plates we know how to make, so that's cool. And then I'm going to have you in the thing, right? So you're going to go down here. Luckily, they like kind of all follow the same pattern. So like if you know which machines make which components, they all follow the same pattern pretty much. So that does make things a little bit easier for us. Once you get the hang of the patterns that are being followed here, it's a very straightforward mod, right? It's very, like, aluminum rings are made the same way as every other ring, right? It's just, you know, different, but it's all the same, right? It's all the same pattern that you're following to get it going, right? So, yeah. We need more antimony. So let's go find out about antimony, because we've had some antimony, yes. So tag C ores antimony. How's that spelled? Is that a thing? It is a thing. Looks like we found some. Right? And then you're going to turn into raw antimony. And who can process you? Anybody? Nobody really? So the mechanism machine can't process him, right? But what we can do is throw it into... So thus far, we haven't needed antimony ingots. We've only needed antimony dust. So what we can say is antimony dust comes from a macerator. And I'm just going to say it makes 1. And then we'll have excess production. Because I assume that extra 1 is like a chance-based thing, right? And then what we'll do is we'll take our antimony. Oops, I didn't really want to do that, did I? Probably not. And just put you in here. Cool. Now we have plenty of antimony. At least to hold us over. Cool. So I was working towards vacuum freezer. Now we have the stuff to make all that. I just don't want to kick off anything because I know it's currently crafting some of the other things I requested. So I'm going to do all this off camera and we'll be back in a minute. And at some point soon, I should probably consider upgrading these guys to the electric tier so that we have less, stuff to worry about. All right, back in a few. Let me tell you, folks, there's a lot of crafting. I mean, a lot. Highly, highly recommend you automate this. If you get anywhere near modern industrialization, trust me when I tell you, automation is key. All right, so I've got... Actually, did you exist? Okay, no, that's frostproof, that's advanced. Okay, cool. So now I need 33 of these, which needs aluminum gears. Apparently I don't have that on the autocraft list. Okay, now we can get 33. Hooray! All right, it took a healthy amount of time to get everything we needed, but I've got my vacuum freezer. So now we just need to probably accelerate this guy a little bit. Just a smidgen. Just a little smidgen. Not terrible. And we can presumably toss this thing over here-ish. Let's see, and we hold the wrench, and that's one that has to go up 1. Cool. Okay, and that also has a hollow inside. So we can start building it while the others craft. Yes. And I'm going to go on a limb and assume that the vacuum freezer, it can accept fluids. So I don't know. I'll have a fluid input, an item input, 1 of each, because I don't see 2 items or 2 fluids. Well, I do have 2 fluids at one point, but we'll start with 1 and 1. And then your outputs are... Okay, yeah, so we'll do from modern industrialization, we're going to have 2 inputs. All right, we're going to want probably a bunch of you, by the way, while you're at it. I don't think you use any of my machines, right? You're using the old hammer method for making plates. So a fluid input hatch. And then a fluid output hatch. And an item input hatch. And an item output hatch. Right? Item input, item output, fluid output. We'll put this back here. And I could move this thing underground, and might. Because I feel like that would probably just look better overall. And then it's just a matter of covering up the top there, which is just a matter of helping this thing speed up a little bit more. This many? And shape valid? Sweet. Okay. So now we can make stainless steel, right? We just need hot stainless steel, which is made in the cupronickel version. So this is this guy, and all it is right. So we're gonna want to like set up a pattern for this, right? But you're gonna be that, and then you're gonna be what, a mixer, I assume? Yes, with a bunch of dusts, and 2 of the 3 are already on autocraft. We just need chromium and manganese. So chromium dust is... do what now? Chromium dust is an electrolyzer of chromium hydrochloric solution, which is made in a chemical reactor with crushed chromium dust, which is made from ruby dust in a centrifuge, which I don't think we have set up yet, right? But I think we can make now. Okay. And manganese dust is made in an electrolyzer with manganese sulfuric solution, which is made with crushed manganese, which comes from iron. Okie dokie, Smoky. That's a whole thing, centrifuge-y. And then we're going to need sulfuric acid, probably, which looks like a whole thing. Brain hurdy. All right, to work. Here we go again. Every time you think you're close, there's a whole nother setup. So let's at least get you ready to go. Okay. Yeah, I might move this stuff to underground, because there's no reason it needs to be at this level, right? It can hide under the basement floors, and that might look better. So while I'm waiting for the centrifuge, which is going to be a lot of crafting, mind you, a lot of crafting. Look how much stuff goes into this. And that's just for this bit. This bit needs a whole nother batch of stuff, as does this bit, as does this bit. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. So we'll come back, because I don't have a centrifuge yet right now. So we'll come back in a minute when I'm ready. Or do I want to let that cook and fix this? Let's fix this real quick. So what I'm going to do is move this underground, right? All right, so let's refactor this a little bit, right? I don't need you. And what I can do is I can make you the output face, right? So that means that if I break this and I put it here, and then on the up we do the extract, that's a little bit simpler. I don't even need you to push, because, like, he'll pull, right, from the up face. Cool. And then you are doing the insert on orange, right? But what I'd probably want to do, right, is that's an item input and that's an item input. So let's move these guys to here. So you on the up will be an insert with quartz dust, right? You on the up will be... Where did my insert with coke dust go? It wouldn't be that guy. Presumably it should have gone into my inventory, but I don't see it. I don't know. Did I lose it? I need to clear some stuff out of here anyway. You and you can probably be reset. Nice. Okay. So you on the... Oh, you know what? It's here. That's why. I didn't break it yet. Haha. So you on the up will be my insert of these guys, right? And then we'll link them, lasery. Okay. And then we're going to break you because realistically I want the chest to sit here. And on the down will be the extract for that guy. Cool. Now I think this should wind up being here with this pattern so that we can have the laser node that's going to do the insert easily accessible, right? So you're going to connect to that, and then you guys can be connected, and that should be very cool, right? So to validate that this still works, are you running at the moment? How are you running at the moment? Quartz and... Oh, you're running at the moment. I guess that's a good way, is I need to validate that this still works. I'm assuming that you're behaving yourself? Yes. Nice. So one of these is clearly making quartz, and that's good. Okay. Now I broke this, so I think this is, breaking. I should probably reconnect for a moment and let this crafting finish before I refactor this design. Though he probably doesn't need too much of a refactor, because he is all underneath, isn't he? So I don't have to move that. So that's actually good. Okay, yeah, I don't have to move that, so that's cool. Excellent. I don't know how I'd be able to play this mod without tick accelerating. I'm just putting that out there. Like, maybe I should have been making electronic versions of these machines by now, but, like, there are so many components that need to go into making these things. Like, it's not even the automation. You need a tick accelerator. Like 20 or 30 minutes worth of time to make this work, minus if you didn't have tick accelerating. Centrifuge, up and running. Okay, so we're going to want some tin cables, which are low voltage. Zoinks, power, yay. And then a pattern provider. I'm still lost on what I was even doing at the time because brain hurty. I guess we can auto-eject fluids too. That's cool. Okay, so centrifuge is good. So what was I making? It's literally been like 20 minutes since I kicked off that craft. I don't even remember what I was doing. I'm not even kidding. I am not joking at all. You guys know me. I lose track of stuff easily. Chromium, I think. So what we were working towards was making chromium, right? Because our goal is to make hot stainless steel. So we're going to need chromium and manganese, right? So chromium is made with chromium dust, tiny, which is made in an electrolyzer, which I think we're going to have to make here in a minute, right? Because that's really my only option, unless I went with chromium Bs. But there's no way making a chromium B doesn't involve having chromium already, right? Ruby? Okay. Actually, no, it doesn't. Look at that. Okay. So yeah, you just centrifuge 6 ruby eggs, which look like they need... Yeah, I don't know. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it like the proper modern industrialization way, which is we need an electrolyzer with this chromium hydrochloric solution, right? So we're going to say, and you're going to make hydrogen and chlorine as an output. Goodness gracious. right? And then what we'll do is let that go into the AE system, decide if we need it somewhere, and then export it into a trash can if we don't. Deal? Okay. And then to make you is the chemical reactor, so we're going to need one of those. And we're going to need hydrochloric acid and chromium, right? And chromium is made in a centrifuge with ruby dust. Is this guaranteed? I assume so. And ruby dust is made in a crusher with rubies. We're just going to do the crusher rather than the macerator because faster and already automated, right? And how are we for rubies? We're okay. But I do have a bunch of ruby ore. So what I could do is just drop that in here. And now we're good on rubies. Yes? Cool. Okay. So you're going to go... Let's go put these in by hand. You're going to go into my centrifuge. These guys we don't have a thing for yet. Yeah, that's about all I can put away. So many machines to make. Okay, so I need to make the two machines. So let's get them going. The chemical reactor. I'll make these two and be back in a minute when, you know, all this crafting is done. Because... Be right back. All right, chemical reactor done. And now we need the electrolyzer, which I also can make. So, again, it's just going to be a minute, but at least we can put down you and our pattern providers. Looks like we're going to need a few more in a minute, so let's kick them off too. No crafting CPUs. Oh, that's right. I need to bump up my crafting CPUs. We only have 4 of them still. Right, so you're also going to auto output, right? So the chemical reactor part of this recipe will be... This is the electrolyzer, which I think is what I'm crafting now. This is where we make chromium hydrochloric solution, right? And also where we make hydrochloric acid. Cool. So chromium this stuff. That goes in there, right? And then the stainless steel dust goes into the mixer. So let's get that going. And then the hot stainless steel goes into here. And we're going to want to add you to the allow list for the input hatch, right? So you're going to also allow stainless steel dust. And your pattern is this guy. And then we're going to want to automate this guy in a minute. Cool. So now your job is to be automated. Okay, and you're going to get a similar setup. So what I'm going to have is let's move this back, right? So we'll put you in kind of a similar position, right? So that's your item input and fluid input. Right? Item output, fluid output. Cool. So roughly here... Good, something's done, so I was able to make this. And then a chest. Because I assume there's going to be like, well, no, we don't actually think there's going to be too much to it. Because the vacuum freezers recipes generally just have one input. Except for this one that has 2 inputs. That's the only one. So technically, we can just stick our pattern provider directly on the item input hatch, and then your item output hatch. Let's try these item cables. Right? Item pipes. I assume that they work just like the fluid pipes. And this is a modern industrialization thing, so we're just, you know, sticking with the theme of just doing things the way, you know, it should be. Right? And then and that should be it. I assume you need power, right? Are you like a power dude? Yeah. So realistically, what I should do is remove you and do an LV input hatch. Right? I'm assuming that basic machine hole existed for a reason, so we're going to make another one. Right? And then you can just be power input here and here like that. Is that cool? And for now, that'll do. Until such time as I decide that it doesn't. So now I'll be back in a minute when all this crafting is complete once again. Cool? Be right back. All right, I think we're ready for electrolyzer. Woot. All right, same deal. Cable, U, and pattern provider. Cool. An electrolyzer is where we're going to get this stuff, right? No. Electrolyzer is where we're going to get this stuff? Yes. And it comes from chromium hydrodibidip. All right. You guys just love showing up all the time, don't you? Yes, I know there's a thing for it. Yes, I know. So, can I get chromium dust now? We are short on hydrochloric acid. So we never made a recipe for this. And what that is hydrogen and chlorine in a chemical reactor, which we have. So hydrogen and chlorine are going to be needed here, right? Now, reminder, part of the output of this, and remember I questioned whether this would be useful or not, but one of these dudes' outputs is hydrogen and chlorine, right? So in order to make this, we need 9 buckets of hydrochloric acid, which is going to be a lot of hydrogen and chlorine. So we get a little bit of hydrogen and chlorine back, but not nearly as much as goes into it. Okay? So let's see where this comes from. Hydrogen can come from a chemical reactor or an electrolyzer of water. Okay. So this seems like the simplest way, right? Or we can get pure hydrogen with coal dust and acetylene, or I'm not even going there. We're just gonna deal with the oxygen and void it if we need to. Okay. So you go in the electrolyzer. Which is gonna be one of these machines. There it is, electrolyzer. Okay. And then we have to figure out chlorine, which is going to be an electrolyzer of salt. Is that cool? And salt dust comes from salt crushed dust, which comes from salt ore. So, like, there's also salt. So there's salt from all the ores. There's salt from mechanism. I wonder if that works. Because we do have gaseous brine. Right? We already have that. We have brine. I don't know if we have gaseous brine, but I could probably make it. So chlorine, do you work with mechanism salt? Yes. Let's go in here real quick. We're kind of near the end of the episode. I think we're past wrapping up point. But, so you've got brine. So if I moved you... So if I wanted to make salt with a chemical crystallizer... This just saves me having to, like, mine salt. Right? Looks like my thing is a thing. So you stop working whenever I close and exit my game because this thing breaks. So see how we have no souls? I have to like break and replace this to get it to acknowledge souls again. Okay. But now I can make my chemical crystallizer. After that catches up. There we go. Snagged it. And then I needed... That comes from gaseous brine, which is a decondensator. Right? So you just need to pipe out of here real quick. And what you'll do is do rotary condensator in, and then you're going to chemicals push to a chemical crystallizer, which will make salt, which will push to a functional storage drawer, which will get a storage bus with some cables. Cool. So now if we look, we'll see salt from mechanism. Cool. And then we just need power. So ultimate universal cable and power. Cool. And then if we wanted to make this a little bit faster, we could. Cool. And then I just want to lock you, but I'm not going to void upgrade you. I'm just going to like let you fill up and then stop, right? Cool. Okay. So then back home, we have salt now, right? So we would do, we're just going to upgrade this recipe to make it the mechanism salt ×2. And then that's your chlorine, right? And that also goes into the electrolyzer? Yes. Okay, real quick, let's see if I can make chromium. Hydrochloric acid. Did I not teach you the hydrochloric acid recipe itself? Maybe. And then you should probably go here. And hydrochloric acid, I assume, is a chemical reactor. Okay, so now I should be able to make the big dude, and you're missing 5 chlorine to craft. Missing 5 to craft 1.35. Do we just not have enough salt yet? I don't know if that's true. Can I do this? Chlorine. 2 salt makes 0.2125 buckets of chlorine. Why is this not working? I wonder if we're having like we're not having a channels problem, are we? This should be working. Why is it saying it can craft 0.25? Right? Because... So it knows... Alright, so let's do this. Can we make hydrochloric acid? Missing chlorine from modern industrialization. So we should know how to make chlorine from our electrolyzer, right? Do I need you to be the primary? I might need you to be the primary. 0.125 of chlorine from modern industrial, but we'll make it 0.125. Because, like, really what we're looking for here is that, right? Not the sodium dust. It's really the chlorine that we care about. I'm thinking that was the problem. So now, can I make chromium dust? Yes, beautiful. All right, I will let this cook between episodes and make sure everybody's cool about it. Are you just, like, really slow? I think you are. Okay, well, come back next episode. Let this whole thing cook, right? You're doing your stuff? I think so. Are you also just super slow, or do you not have power? You don't have power. And the reason you don't have power? I don't know. Oh, probably because I'm draining this so much. Yeah, it makes sense. Do you have power now? No. Is there a limit to how... Oh, what? Why are you no connecting? Oh, there we go. Now you are. Cool. Okay. Sweet. So you're making hydrogen and oxygen. I think we're going to have excess outputs here that we're probably going to have to void because they're going to start clogging up this cell that I made, but we'll see what happens. All right, but for now, wrapping up point. Daryl20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time and continue. For now, take it easy.